Hello, everybody. It's about that time. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer comes from Weyerbacher Brewing. They're out of Easton, Pennsylvania. I can get some of their beers here, but I don't get all of them. My brother Rico has sent this to me. This is the Weyerbacher Finally Legal. I did their 21st anniversary edition, and it had an alias on some of the sites here that this was the beer they were referring to. Well, I want to disagree with that because this is a bourbon barrel aged version, has a lot stronger, bigger ABV than the 21st anniversary edition did, so I don't know how they can assume that it's the same beer. It is not the same beer. The 21st anniversary edition was not a 13.5%er from what I recall. So, and I don't think it was a bourbon barrel aged version of it either. So I may be wrong on that, but this is not the same beer as the 21st anniversary edition. Finally legal, 21st anniversary, makes you 21, able to buy alcohol or liquor. Some states are different. In Virginia, you have to be 21 to buy alcohol in the ABC store. Now beer, different story. So once you get above the beer, and the beer is smearing that line. Especially, all the beers used to be, when I was growing up, they were like 5%ers. And now the beers that are done with the craft beer breweries, that could be all the way up to 20-some%. So that line has been smeared over the last 10, 15, 20 years. So you can go into a grocery store and buy 20-some% ABV beer at 18, as far as I'm aware of here in Virginia. But if you go to the ABC store, you need to be 21 to buy liquor. Just some of the damn shit you got to deal with the damn government, guys. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you ought to be 18, you can buy any alcohol. You can join the service and go over and die for your country, but you can't buy alcohol. Or you can come over here when you at 18. I can be in the service and I can buy a rifle, but I can't buy a pistol. What's up with that? You can die for your country, but you can't own a pistol. You can't buy a pistol. Screwed up laws. All the damn people with suits and ties up in Washington got their head up their frickin' ass, as far as I'm concerned. Don't get me started on that. Don't like to do political rants, but we need to wipe the board clean up there. We need to have term limits on Congress. Get rid of some of these career politicians that can't get along with anybody, that the lobbyists are in their pocket and they're paying them to vote the way they want to. We need to get rid of that. Alright, commercial description on this beer. This is a huge monster beer. Final beer of the evening for me, 13.5%. Commercial description says, originally released in June 2016 as our 21st anniversary. This big stout is brewed with Munich malts, smoked malts, cocoa nibs, cocoa powder, and vanilla, rolling in at 13.5%. Finally legal is a rich chocolate flavor with hints of vanilla and a touch of smoky bacon. And if that's not enough, we blended this tasty brew with its bourbon barrel aged counterpart before packaging it for your enjoyment. So, as far as I'm concerned, they're two different beers, guys. They maybe want to put both of those in the same category, but I don't recall the 21st anniversary edition being at 13.5%. I may be wrong. So I think there's two different beers there, or either that, they had such a great response on the 21st anniversary edition, they've come out with this, calling it finally legal. So, let's get on with it. I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about. I don't have the IBUs, I don't think. Let me look over to Untappd. Untappd has it at 60 IBUs. So we got a 13.5%, 60 IBUs, and Weyerbacher uses these big, bold, blue writing. It says packaged on 03/31/17. And they used to have an Enjoy By or Best By date underneath there. Now they're doing some kind of code underneath there, and it doesn't make any sense to me. 6593662284. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. Maybe that's a batch number. I don't have any idea. It doesn't look like it used to. They used to have packaged on Enjoy By or Best By underneath of it. And it was usually 2 years between bottled on and Enjoy By, depending on the style. So, let's see what this one brings to the table. There's nothing else we need to talk about, so let's stop talking and start pouring. Like I told you, final beer of the evening for me. This is a big beer. Nice hiss, nice smoke. Into the glass we go. Food pairing says general chocolate digestive. The meat is beef, smoked meat, game, and grilled meat, your stronger dishes. Glassware, a pint, becker, knife, tumbler, snifter, oversized wine glass. I got my favorite snifter today, the solid beer glass. And can be sold for a long period of time. I can't think of a single reason why you could not. And my brother Rico sent me this beer and his notes, and I didn't bring them out here. Kind of legal bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout brewed with Munich malts, smoked malts, cocoa nibs, cocoa powder, vanilla, and rolling in at 13%, 60 IBUs on a tap. Picked up last week. It was $3.50 for a bottle of this. It's sold in 4 packs. He tells me the bottle on date is 3/31/17. And he's telling me, according to the brewery, it was brewed last year as the 21st anniversary year. The ABV is a tad bit higher for this version. That's what I told you guys. I don't remember the 21st anniversary edition being this big in alcohol, and I don't remember it being a bourbon barrel aged beer on top of that. I may be wrong, but to me it's a different beer. I don't know why they're aliasing it as that. To me, I would not. This is much bigger beer. So, let me, before I get into this, let me mark this off because I think I haven't done it. If I do not, I'll try to keep tabs when Rico sends me all this paperwork. And some of the other people do too, tell me about the beer, and I try to mark them off as I do them so I know I have done it. Alright, that's it. Let's get to it. Let's jump into it. About a quarter finger of head now. It's subsided since I've been flapping my gums. It is pitch black in the light, guys. I'm not getting any light whatsoever. Good looking beer. Looks like a stout. Let's get it to the nose. Not getting huge bourbon notes. I don't know how long they left it in the bourbon barrels, whether it was first run, never had beer in before, or was something they had beer in before. Nice sweet caramel toppy. A little bit of bittersweet chocolate. Big time roasted malt. But not a lot of bourbon on the nose, guys. I'll tell you that straight up. Well, it's time to do it. Let's get it on. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Little bit of alcohol on the back, but it's right out of the fridge. Just poured it. It hasn't opened up yet. Bittersweet chocolate, hints of some dark fruit. Big time roasted malt, caramel, toffee, brown sugar. Maybe even some molasses. But I am getting some alcohol on it. That may subside. It's a fresh beer. This was just done in March and it's a 13.5%. This probably would be a great candidate to sell it for a year or 2, 3, 5, even longer. So let me sip on this, go outside, let her taste it, finish up that cigar that I was smoking a little earlier, and let's see if the alcohol subsides a little bit. See if it opens up a little bit more and I get anything else out. Maybe some vanilla or something like that from the bourbon barrels. Tastes pretty tasty now, other than a little heaviness on the booziness cold out of the fridge. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. I'm going to set it up for a little bit. The head is completely gone. I mean, it's just there's no head at all. It's just a beer now. I am still getting a little hint of the alcohol. I am getting some vanilla from the barrel aging, but I'm not getting a lot of bourbon. Maybe they didn't put it in a first run bourbon barrel, a barrel that's never had beer in it before, or they didn't leave it in the barrel very long before they bottled it. Maybe that's what they were shooting for, I'm not sure. But there are a lot of other beers that have a bigger bourbon notes to the beer in the aroma and in the taste than this one does, but I do find this very, very pleasant. A great candidate to cellar, but like I said, right now, fresh. I'm not getting a lot of bourbon. I don't think the bourbon's going to get more intense as time goes on. The biggest thing is the rich roasted malt, almost to the burnt characteristics, and then the caramel toffee and brown sugar comes in. Hints of some bittersweet chocolate and a little bit of some fruits, dark fruits, raisins, plums, dates or figs. But it still has a little bit of booziness, and that may subside over a while. But I'm still getting a little bit of hints of that. So it's fresh. I mean, a lot of times these bigger beers are a little on the hot side. When I say hot, that means the alcohol is there. It's noticeable. So it's still very delicious. Final chug. To me, I think they should have left it in the bourbon barrels a little longer. If it was a fresh run bourbon barrel, never had beer in it before. Because I'm not getting, and they got it right all over the label, bourbon barrel aged. When I see that on the label, I expect to get a little bit of that, some heavy bourbon notes on it, and I'm not getting it on this. There is some woodiness, vanilla characteristics from being in a barrel, but not a lot of heavy bourbon. So, with that being said, 9 out of 10 for me on this one, guys, because I'm not getting the bourbon that I was expecting. So, but it is still very tasty, very well made beer. A little hot right now. A great candidate to cellar for a while, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, and it probably those alcohol notes are probably going to subside a little bit. Usually they do, not always, but usually they do. So. And a lot of times when I pour it fresh, I'll get those alcohol notes and it'll subside as I'm drinking it. This one hasn't subsided too much. I'm still getting the heavy alcohol notes. So, I think this is a great candidate to cellar. I think it's a very well made beer. I'm just not sure how long they left it in the bourbon barrels. They call it a bourbon barrel age. Maybe only left it in there for a month or two, and it may not even been a first run barrel. So. I think I want to see a little more bourbon notes in this beer to give it a better grade than what I'm giving it. So I'm giving it an A, 95, right straight down the middle of the A category. Over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says 87. I think it's better than what those guys are saying. Over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says 97. Overall, 69 in the style. I don't think I'm not up to the 97. I'm not getting enough bourbon notes on it to give it a 97. And final check-in, we run over to Untapped. They have it at 4.03, which is their A- category. So, I'm giving it better numbers than that. So, I do think it's a tasty beer. I think it's a little hot, fresh, and I'm not getting the bourbon notes that I think it should have for a bourbon barrel aged beer. So, that's why I'm giving it the grade that I'm giving it. If you've had this one from Weyerbacher, this is their finally legal, and that's how it's written on the label. This is not the 21st anniversary edition. This is a different beer as far as I'm concerned. So, if you had this, let me know what you think. Come on back tomorrow. Let's see what's in the fridge. See you then.